All right. I'm an autoimmune. I have rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Sjogren's. I have not been diagnosed with Crohn's, but they were looking at Crohn's and MS for me when I moved out to Colorado. I did not move here for pot. I moved here for the weather because Georgia's weather is like devil's armpit. It's horrid. It's humid. It's ridiculous. Tornado season, yellow season, and hurricane season, and then devil's armpit for the rest of the year. So we came out here. I was on a wonderful cocktail of medication, Opana, which is oxymorphone, oxycodone, gabapentin, because my neuropathy was so bad, which is why I was being looked at for MS, methotrexate, which is an oral chemotherapy, biologics, which I'm still on biologics because I don't have the ability yet to use the oils, which will lead me into another subject. But so I come out to Colorado and I go to fill my Opana, and apparently the DEA was mad at Colorado. So I couldn't find my prescription anywhere. And Opana is a pretty heavy narcotic, so if you stop taking it, you're subject to seizures and things like that. And I did go through one night of withdrawal with muscle seizures. Thankfully not brain seizures, but my nerves were spasming all over. It was crazy. So I found half of my prescription 60 miles away the next day. I went, got that, and used that to wean off. I was taking 60 milligrams of Opana every day, plus another 30 of oxycodone. The gabapentin was at 1,200 milligrams, so it's a lot of stuff. But I weighed off all that stuff. I said, you know what, screw it, cannabis is legal. I'm gonna do that because I know that works for me. I had it when I was in Georgia, and when I started teaching in schools, I stopped using cannabis just in case something were to happen. And I needed to test for my job. And after that, I had to be put on opiates just to be able to function. For those who don't know, rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, they basically eat your body from the inside out. I've had more reconstructive surgery than most of Hollywood. I'm missing a lot of bones, a lot of tendons, a lot of everything. I need new knees, I need new feet. My hands are interesting looking. Gang signs, Geriatric, Eastside representing here. But that's life as an autoimmune. And you can tell, I know Wendy mentioned pneumonia, you can hear my voice is very scratchy. I've had this for 3 weeks now, and I'm actually over the bug, but it's still in my system. Unfortunately, I still take Actemra, which is a biologic. My neutrophils go down to where I can't fight infections, and it raises my cholesterol. I actually went vegan for several months just to see if it was the medicine or my lifestyle, and it was the medicine. So right now I'm still on my biologic. I can't afford to access the THCA oil that I take, and I take a lot of THCA oil. It's fantastic when I do. Right now in Colorado Springs, everybody needs to be aware of what's going on at the local level. We have a national election going on, but we also have this local stuff going on. There's stuff happening at the state level, and there's stuff happening at all these local levels. Colorado Springs, they're trying to take our 36 plants that were allotted to grow and move it down to 12 because they think it's a public safety issue. There's actually no reasoning other than to match El Paso County that they're doing it. In the Medical Marijuana Task Force, that was one of their recommendations, is that we lose the ability to create our medicine. We all know dispensaries have, a lot of them use pesticides. The ones that don't, their supplies are, we're inundating them because they're doing so well. And right now, that ability to grow is essential. There are people out there managing leukemia, they're managing cancers, they're managing autoimmune diseases and epilepsy, and they don't manage it by inhaled medication only. They have to have concentrates, they have to have topicals. You mentioned the Apothecana one. I learned how to make that.
Oh, nice.
I know. So I actually make that. That stuff is a bomb. It is. It's actually, I'm smothered in it right now. So I smother. It's like I oil up and I smell like cloves for a couple days and whatever. But everybody needs to be aware and involved with what's going on. Wendy mentioned your story is important, and it is important. And our council at Colorado Springs is not hearing those stories. They're not getting out there during the public sessions. So the public is not hearing this part of it. They're hearing, oh, this home was busted for 600 plants, or this home was busted and it's Cuban cartels, or whatever they're wanting to blame it on this time. they're not saying the majority of people who are using cannabis and growing cannabis are abiding by the law. Their statistics, the DEA statistics, 0.1%. Not even 1%, but 0.1%. That's the issue. They said there's approximately 200 grows, and I verified that at the fire marshal meeting the other morning. I actually, which is ironic because the DEA agent there, after I mentioned how expensive LED lights were, he was like, no kidding. So thanks to the comments of a DEA agent, we actually may be able to keep our lights now, but which is weird. But you know, we don't have access to these things. They're not presenting us in the manner that they need to be presented. And so we have got to stand up and represent ourselves. And we have to do it in a polite, loving, kind manner. We have to human again, and we have to adult. The opposition the other day at the city council meeting, they were out there with signs with their kids. And, you know, I walked up to the woman and I said, you know what issue do you actually have with the plant count? And she explained to me there was a grow house next to their house that had hundreds of plants, had actually been visited by the DEA. It really actually was one of those illegal grows. It wasn't a caregiver situation. I had to agree with her. Okay, yeah, that's horrible. I don't want criminal activity in my neighborhood either. But that's what everybody's seeing. And then I explained to her my story. And she turned to her kids and said, see, there is a legitimate use for this. And if we're kind to each other, we can talk to each other, we might actually find out we don't have that much that we disagree about. And she was able to say, yeah, the only problem I have is 50 plants or higher without any of the odor and all of this other stuff. She really had no problem with us growing. But she's up there because of the image that's being portrayed about us. She doesn't know enough of us. So get out there, tell your story. Tammy, tell your story. It's a beautiful story.
You've created a monster.
but it's important, and everybody's important. And your story makes me love you more. So get up there and tell. And everybody, the louder we can be, the more support we're going to have from the public. It doesn't matter at that point what council thinks, because everybody's going to be standing there going, what's going on? So if we can hold council accountable for what they're doing and reach out to that opposition, not like, why don't you think that why don't you think I should have this stuff? But if you go up there and say, look, what really are your issues? I'm really concerned. I want to help you with this. I want clean neighborhoods too. I guarantee you most people don't oppose us. So that's my story. Your story makes me love you more.